How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Garage Built Baits. I'm your host, Wyatt Byer of Byer Lure Co. Just gonna get right into it. We're talking with Michael from SacPig, and honestly, this was a long time coming. We had planned multiple different times to get scheduling down, and it was just kind of I had something going on, he had something going on. It was wild. Like we really tried very hard, and finally the planets aligned and all the stars aligned, and we were able to film this episode. And I think it turned out really good. He's a super cool dude to talk to. Some awesome rats that he makes, and some cool things coming down the pipeline for you guys. But this was a fun episode to film and get to talk to him. Also, if you want to go support me, there's the Buy Me a Coffee link down below. Also, leave a review, leave a comment. Tell me what you think of all this stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and we're gonna roll right into it. We'll just kick it off because, I mean, this has been a long time coming. This has been kind of difficult to get our schedules aligned.
The early morning, yeah, it's definitely been rough.
So why don't you go ahead? You can introduce yourself, tell the people what you do.
I am Michael. I run SacPig Baits, and I make rats of all types. Floating rats, sinking rats, pretty rats, some ugly rats. I definitely have some ugly rats hanging up on the wall for sure. Like, Mr. COVID rat is definitely ugly as heck. But, yes, just all-around rat expert, top water, love it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you seem like you're in a great area to where top water seems more feasible year round.
California?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Although, I must say, though, that I do think there's a myth going on here because it doesn't matter where I go in California and it doesn't matter how cold it is. There's always fish right next to the bank, and they're always ready to eat a rat. And the coldest winter months have always produced the largest fish for me. So I'm not sure how well that don't throw top water in cold months go because I've never abided by it and it's worked well every year. Year round
Well,
ratting.
yeah, well, and you look at people from like the New England area and they throw like wake baits all the time. Like right after ice out, they're throwing top water already.
Those fish are probably ready to go, huh? Just
Mm-hmm.
give me that food, yeah.
Well, like here in the Midwest, like right when ice out happens is when like our big predator species, like pikes, start to spawn. And so they're super active, like looking for meals, looking for something big to eat.
Having pike in your waters must change how you fish for bass a lot too, right? Because they don't get to, they're not the, out here, they're the big tough guys. They run the roost in California. They'll set up on any rock, any point, but they can't do that if they got pike rolling around, right?
It all depends, like from my experience, like pikes set up very similar to how bass do. Because I'll fish a weed line or a point, or like a laydown or something, and it's like, all right, it's a bass or it's gonna be a pike. It's kind of 50-50 almost.
So like muskies are the outliers that don't predate in the same way as like pikes and bass, you think?
I don't know, dude. I've never caught a muskie.
No.
It's on the
Okay.
bu- it's on the bucket list though.
I haven't either. I would definitely like to catch one, but somebody told me that it's like a lazy striper, and I've already caught a 41-pound striper, so I don't know where to go from there. I got to go, at least for freshwater fish, at least.
Mm. One of the guys that I like to watch a lot on YouTube is ND Yak Angler,
I
and
watch him.
yeah, so one of his newer videos, he's throwing like a 9 or a 10 inch stick bait and catching muskies like on the river, and I'm just like, it's like that's insane.
Well, in the river system, at least up here, there's lamprey, and dude, they slam those eels, especially like if you go to Massachusetts and you look at the baits that they use long eel, like it's not, it's the worm imitating the eels, and yeah, they in the rivers they definitely have eels and stuff. So it's a cool, it's definitely a cool looking bite though. And I
Mm-hmm.
want to get in on one of those Massachusetts striper runs so bad. It looks ridiculous out there. Like every cast a striper.
No, that'd be really sweet. Muskie and striper are definitely on the bucket list, but um, I'm just not in a good area for muskies. Like South Dakota only has like a couple lakes that are like really managed for muskie fishing, and they're all over on the other side of the state.
Yeah, I wouldn't know anything about that. We got lots of bass here.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. You know, we have a few cool river systems that have spawning salmon and steelhead runs, salmon runs, uh, shad runs, and stuff like that. But I don't hate river fishing, but it's not fun to me. I I there's river fishing, which is the best spot is the best spot because everything's flowing and it comes to that spot. Where bass fishing is, I need to move to find the best spots. I don't like sitting still and
Mm-hmm.
fishing. Even if I'm sitting there throwing a glide bait the whole time, that's still not fun to me. I like going out and hunting.
No, same. I like moving around. Like I can't just like sit in just one spot. Like it'll drive me crazy.
Yeah, for sure. That's my dad telling me how to fish. I always wanted to move. No, sit down. Like, no, you got to go move. It always felt right. That's all.
Mm-hmm. So as far as like getting into fishing, how did that look for you?
I've always been into fishing. I just never. I was just dad fishing though. Like bring out an ugly stick with some catfish bait and go fishing for catfish. Like I had no concept of anything really, and fishing was just a nice excuse to get out of the house at first, and then I got addicted to topwater, and that was the rabbit hole I went down, and then currently still going down. So just met the right people along the way. That's the right influences at the right time, and it helped me out quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cause like you were saying earlier, it's like you're just like rats at top water. I haven't really seen you do anything else versus other builders will kind of dive down other avenues, glide baits or swimmers, stuff like that.
You're not watching enough.
I'm not
I
watching
fish a lot.
enough.
Yeah, I fish, dude. I post baits and catches. It depends what type of phase. Right now, the ABS is getting released, so
Hmm.
I'm not going to be fishing anything like anything else. But yeah, there's a nice like 3 year stint of me fishing everything, and I always carry a spinning rod with me. I
Hmm.
always carry worms. I punch. I frog. I do absolutely everything. It's just that why? When I can just go out earlier and get my bite that I really want. Like I tie my fishing around to the bite that I want to get, and if I can't get that bite, then I'll branch out. But if I
Hmm.
don't have to, I don't want to get a punch bite if I can get a rat bite.
Hmm.
I'll take one rat bite over five punch bites.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm more so like saying like as you're building, like with your
What?
building, like you only are like doing rats. Yeah.
Oh, oh, I've tried. I don't like them. I don't like fishing glide baits, so I won't make one.
Hmm.
I don't. There's baits that I just don't like fishing, and that's my test. That's my test. That's my litmus test. It is, am I having fun fishing this bait? No. All right. I'm done. I'm done. Like other people aren't gonna have fun either. That's how I feel. But if when I really have fun, like it allows me to dedicate an unbelievable amount of time and investment, and it allows me to make the product that should be made instead of just some half-ass product that I never wanted and you aren't gonna want either.
Hmm. Yeah, if you I think that's like the biggest thing is like you loving what you do and then like it's like I love this so much I don't really want to fish with anything else.
Yeah, that's how it feels. I do like fishing with other. I have a whole rack of other people's work and trades, and like I'm so grateful for being in this position, but I can't fish them all. But when the time comes and I'm not going to be promoting as hard, I'm really looking forward to getting. I want to get more glide bait bites. I've caught like 4 fish in my entire life on a glide bait, and 2 of them were a striper, and they came in the same day. And I've only caught 3 striper, and one of them was that 41-pound striper on the glide bait that I made the night before.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just, yeah, it was nuts. So I have that still hanging up right here, and it's completely fucked, but it's hanging up.
Um, how did this all happen for you though? How did you come into bait making?
Um, well, being broke definitely helps. Uh, Looking at the price of a new lure was pretty daunting, and so I met this guy out at the lake, and I seen him throwing a spook, and remember, I still got an ugly stick and a worm. Like I have no idea what I'm doing, and I seen this spook walking for the first time out on the lake. His name's Sue, and I was like, "What is that?" He goes, "It's a spook," and you walk it across the water. I was like, "I like that," and somebody happened to leave like a backpack at my house, and he just dropped off the fishing gear, and it had a spook in it, and I was like, "You want to meet up tomorrow and go spooking?" And yeah, we killed it for like a week, and we never got a spook bite again, ever. Never happened again. So we bought snakes, we bought turtles, we bought other top water stuff, and it would all work for 3 days, and then it would never work again. And I learned that these fish are acclimating so fast to the sound, and there's something going on in these small ponds. It's not the same as fishing Lake Berryessa. These fish hear and see everything that goes on all the time. And learning that introducing novelty was the thing that was getting me the bite, not the bait. And I know that sounds really strange, but that's what it was. It was the novelty of the bait that's getting the bite, but not the bait itself. So I was like, I can do that. I can just make my own baits. Like that's exactly how it started. Just I don't want to buy baits, but I need a new bait every week to keep catching these fish. So I'm going to do that instead.
Well, and it seems to be working for you as well because you have like if people follow you on Instagram, you're showing what you're doing and you got some cool stuff going on. Let's start with kind of the beginning, like the first production bait for you as far as one that you're putting out and selling.
Um, so the first production bait was, oh my goodness. So this ain't the production bait, but this is how it started. Someone messaged me on YouTube or on Instagram one day and was like, "Hey, I have some CNC rats that I want. Can I send it to you? And let's do something with it." So these CNC rats showed up, like the lip broke off and blah blah blah. And then we started with this model with the giant legs, and this was like the first production, but it went through 8 more iterations of production before we actually released it. But, but the one piece, I'm sorry about the wind blowers, but yeah, the one piece was the very first production. Took me 7 months every single day, probably around 18 hours a day. I was working on this for 7 months, and I only fished it at night. Complete blackout darkness. Just that was what I wanted to fish at the time, and it has a lot of features in it to fish at night, and it makes it so lazy during the day. Like this is one of the laziest baits that you can ever use because it's meant for fishing at night, so you don't need any senses during the day at all. But yeah, first production. Then we just, 2-piece was next, and then the travels. We had to do the travels, man.
Mm-hmm. And so what's the difference if people don't know between the travels and your other lineup?
They're just slightly smaller.
Mm.
They're, they're meant. So the idea was not everyone has a 3.5 ounce rod.
Mhm.
You know, people got a punching rod though, and it's 1.5 ounces. It's made directly for you to explore throwing some swim baits, just like those spro rats that are out there, and get you into swim baiting without having to invest in the gear. And I have had a few people message me saying I would have never even have thought of throwing this rat. I would have never have ever have done it, and now they're buying swim bait gear and getting bigger rats from me. Like it's just that was the whole point. Just we're trying to get people's foot in the door on this bite. Everyone needs to experience it. So
Mhm. Well, and that was like my kind of first um kind of go into swim baits is I carved a very rudimentary rat out of basswood and caught my first fish on it. And when I was living in Florida, that caught my first fish like down there. So you just you just kind of dive down the rabbit hole. And yeah, if you have, I was throwing it on like a big medium heavy, and that's like it was like perfect. And that's how you kind of wiggle down the rabbit hole.
yeah, definitely. But it started with the spook for me, and then next thing I know, I'm making rats somehow. I don't even know how I got here, but I'm here, and we're still making rats, and I don't plan to stop. Hopefully, after we get that produced and in stores and whatnot, we have the travel two piece that I would like to probably get produced next. And I don't know if we'll ever do the big ones in production. I don't know if it's going to be worth it. We have to see like the how the audience likes these one piece first. I think they're going to like them a lot though. They're pretty fun to fish.
Mhm. And then it looks like with your ABS one that you can do the same thing where you can switch out to um like the wormtail and the booty shaker as well.
Correct. So we have a for the tail, instead of the same way that we're doing it, we have a quick clip.
Mhm.
I don't know how well that's coming through. That way you can just reach in and clip it on, and it's clipped on. That way you don't ever have to if you want to use a booty shaker, you can literally keep the split ring on there and just put the tail on and screw it in. If you want to switch to the split ring, just or the booty shaker, just put on the booty shaker. The booty shakers aren't going into production though. Those are still something that I'm 3D printing and putting all the beads in manually and stuff.
Mhm. As far
But
as like your recommendation, when would you use like the booty shaker versus a plastic tail?
the booty shaker has a purpose beyond sound.
Mhm.
Um, the mother lake, the teaching lake, my lake that I started at, uh, it taught me that if the bass are frequent eaters of rats and they know how to eat them, they don't actually they don't just pop up and grab the bait by the head. That's an inexperienced bass. The bass at this lake will yank the tail down, grab the back legs, and pull them underneath the water. So I'm fishing a spro, tail's gone. Put on new tail, tail's gone. Go out the next day, tail's gone, tail's gone, tail's gone. I was like, I want them to bite a hook, not a tail. This is absolutely ridiculous. So I took the tail off and I started fishing, and it worked perfectly fine. I was like, okay. Next day, I found a backpack at my mother lake, teaching lake, and that in that backpack there was a Yozuri knuckleball, and I was like, huh, that is uncannily the perfect size to fit on the back of my bait. So I started using it and just fucking crushing them, dude. Just and that was the end. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna make my own, and I'm gonna make several of them. But yeah, it's to ward. Once you find that lake that they're biting your tails at, you know that you're getting on some rat fish. That is your rat lake. Put that in there. Or if you see them getting their mouth pinned by all three of these back hooks, they're trying to pull down the legs. That's another sign of you're on a rat lake. But if they're just coming up and crushing it, it don't matter. Then use the booty shaker whatever the way you want. I also use it to just cycle sound.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other purpose. I'll take 3 shakers and a tail, fish the tail a week, swap to a shaker, fish the shaker for a week, swap to a different shaker, back to the tail, recycle sound to non-conditioned fish.
Mm-hmm.
That only came later though. That was an insight that I had later. Like the initial point was to get them to stop biting my tails off.
Mm-hmm. And then you're making all of your tails in-house as well?
Correct. All of the tails are shot in here. All the I have yeah. All tails are shot here. The ABS tails will not be shot here though. The
Mm-hmm.
ABS tails will be they're better than mine. So I don't want them shot here. Like they have machines that can pressurize in a way that just like even these baits, they're not. This isn't the same plastic that who makes those Ned rigs, the stretchy Ned rigs. I just
Oh,
completely forgot their
Z-Man?
name. Yeah, this is not Z-Man plastic. This is a different material. It's so rough and hard to use that it will, like, you can screw a screw lock into it and it will just spit it back out. Like, or if you screw a screw lock into it, you know how you could pull the screw lock out, the nose blows out? You could just screw it back in. Like, it's a very weird material, but it floats on an 8/0 hook and it takes like 6 grams to get it to go down. So maybe even if we wanted to size up, we could probably do like a floating 12/0 with that.
Mm-hmm. When are one of those soft plastic ones, when are those going to be coming into play as far as selling?
Depends. If we continue to work with this material, I'm going to actually have to invent a new way to put it on your hook. I'm not joking either. Like I already have it planned out, and it's gonna like and there's no conventional tackle that actually works with this material. So it's gonna be this is a slow burn. So it's gonna be a while.
Mm-hmm. Because so far you've just been like rigging it on like a big like 8/0 hook you were saying?
Yeah, I'm the ADOT BKK that
Mm-hmm.
has the weight that you could put on it to make it sink, and I could take if I find a weed line or some bulrush, I could take that weight off in less than like 2 seconds and have my bait out there and getting crushed. So it's really cool. I've never because I whenever I fish that thick heavy stuff, I'm always fishing frogs, and they're not good at it. They're just not good at it. They do the job, but they get caught in everything on the way. Even if you bend the hooks down, even if you push them in, like I've done every single trick to fish in the bulrush, it don't work that well. The EWG and those rat ears, they block absolutely everything that's going to get caught in that hook. It just glides through the stuff. No problem.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, because like you said that floats versus if you're, if you're fishing a frog, obviously that's going to float or whatever. But if you're fishing a soft plastic frog, like a buzz frog, like you got to keep that thing going. You can't like just pause it. Or
Yep.
you're gonna.
This one will not only float, it will swim on like underneath this. It'll have an action. So in between the pockets that you're fishing in, it's not just a frog. You're swimming a swim bait, or you could just put on the weight and it slow sinks, and then you can just let it fall through those the like the bulrush pockets or the grass pockets and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Going back to the ABS rat, how has that whole process been? Because you hear other um, bait makers talking about, oh, it's a pain in the butt trying to have overseas production and things like that. So how has that been for you?
Our guy fucking nailed it. I don't got nothing bad to say about him. He absolutely killed it. I have the first one that came was it. I think these actually have like better action than my resin ones. All right, like they feel different. I can't get I can't get the same amount of flotation out of my resin ones, and these have more haptic feedback in the rod. You know, when like if you close your eyes, you can feel the left and right movement of the,
Mhm.
and these have a little bit more haptic feedback, which I look for night fishing because I'm not making a 200-foot cast and have a weed get caught and then spend 5 minutes reeling in that weed. I need to know instantly if my hook has a weed on it just by the weight. Like, you know, once you get familiar with a bait, you know how that bait feels, and you know how it feels casting, whether it has an extra 2 grams of something. Like you just know what it feels like. So the haptic feedback is very important for me, and these guys do it really well. But yeah, the production, no problem whatsoever.
That's awesome to hear. And then it looks like, does that also have swiveling hook hangers on it?
It does.
Yeah. I feel like every freaking swim bait just needs to have that, just because of that weight that they have.
It. I I cannot speak for the effectiveness of them. I don't even know if it's like what percentage is it like a 10% increased chance of landing? It's got to be some small percentage. But assist cords, they're completely different. I'll take assist cords over split rings and a barrel swivel any day. It's just they're a completely different something. I don't know what to say about it, and I can't prove anything, but it makes your bait come through weeds better. And
Mhm.
like I said, I can't prove it, but time and time again, I'm fishing my one piece and it just ripping it right through the weeds, and not it just doesn't collect anything. And I can't explain why, but it happened as soon as I started using assist cords. I noticed that hooks were harder to get out of their mouth, and the bait just became really weedless. I'd say not weedless, but catches less weeds.
Mhm.
Nothing's really weedless. Yeah.
Mhm. And then moving on from like the baits a little bit, you do some also cool stuff, because if you look on your website, you also have the micro balloons and the wrapped treble hooks. I'm not super familiar with
Those are the
those.
assist cords I was just talking
Okay,
about.
yeah, yeah. So like,
Yeah.
why don't you dive into that a little bit, because I'm not super familiar with those.
Okay. Well, what he's referring to, if it'll show up, is these Kevlar cables instead of split rings. And it's redundant on a barrel swivel, right? It's completely redundant. You don't need to spin and spin. But the degree of turn that you get from like the cavity, the hole, allows the swivel to move, and then but that's not why they're here. I only do them on one bait, and I don't think it's useful on any other bait that I make. But I do it specifically to introduce novelty, and the novelty is getting rid of the split ring hardware sound and making a silent, completely silent bait with a tail, rather than having any sound. Like I'm always going, if someone's throwing a worm, I throw a cross. Someone's throwing bottom, I'll throw top. Like it's just what I do. And people, they want two piece, they want sound. I want no sound. And it's proven to be not only effective, but they don't get conditioned to it the same way as sounded baits. Like that mother lake, that everything would only work for a week. This worked for 2 years. I slammed them for 2 years at that lake nonstop. They just never acclimated to silent.
Mhm.
That's it though. Yeah, there's no real big deal to use it. I use it for a very specific purpose that nobody else uses it for. Everybody else uses it to get extra turns on a fixed hanger. That's their job. They'll spin a little bit more on a fixed hanger. But yeah, I'm using it for sound.
And you make those yourself, or
Correct.
okay? How how did you get into that? Because that's like something
Striper.
striper. Yeah.
Yep, striper fisherman. A lot of the baits and the ideas that I came up with came from striper fishing. That's why they're over engineered, because they can support a 40-pound striper too. Like they're really strong, and I've seen how powerful they are, and I know that Striper can break pretty much anything on the market. And I wanted to make something that I could take out one day with a 2-aught hook, and then, man, I don't even know I had it out here, but I want to be able to swap this hook out. But I have assist cords, so I made that system that allows me to take out the barrel swivels while they're in the bait, so I can swap to like one super large hook at like a 4-aught times 4 and go fishing in the river with my rats. Or the same rat. That was the point. Like I could take the same rat out bass fishing and striper fishing and feel comfortable
Mhm.
with
Yeah.
giant hooks.
Yeah, just having it be more versatile.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had I'm pretty sure I seen a batch of baits not too long ago where Chris Brothers Brim painted some for you.
Just one. That's
Just
actually
one.
the one I was holding up.
Yeah.
That's it.
It
Yeah,
looks like it too. I was like, is that Chris's? That kind of looks like his style. Yeah, that
that's
thing's sick.
Chris's. We're we're working on something. It's just I want to get a batch of baits to him so bad to paint. I'm just allergic to everything now. From the very beginning process to the dust all the way to the end. I have allergic reactions, so it's just going real slow. That's all. That's why we're making the switch over to ABS. I can't make resin baits anymore.
Mhm.
It's too dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so like whenever I paint or I'm pouring resin and using micro balloons, respirator just all the time.
And it respirator, it's good. It's a good start.
It's a good
It's
start.
the baseline thing that you should be doing, but you need a whole lot. Yeah, you really gotta. Those things are still off gassing 2 days later.
Mhm.
Like, have they been in your closed garage the whole time after you poured them off gassing? Well, you're walking in like ventilation, not just an open garage either, like proper ventilation, and I don't know, just the dust getting on my hands and stuff will cause like my entire skin to rash. Like it's getting into my blood somehow. Like my body does not like that stuff. So yeah, I just don't think that you can do enough. And if you are doing it, you should be. I mean, I put out those videos, but they're advertising like no toxic chemicals, and UFO messaged me, UFO Baitco. He's really into safety protocols and stuff, and we started chit chatting, and he goes, no, 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 Smooth On definitely has this in their product. And I looked at their product page, and it said blah blah blah, but free of this, free of that. But when you actually go in and look at the material listing, it's there. They don't have to disclose it's there, and since they don't have to disclose it's there, they can claim that it's free of other things, but the most poisonous thing is still in there, and that's what the problem is. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. I think I think with safety and all of the protocols you need to get through, I think okay, so like I watched like Nate Marling, like Marling Bates,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "All right, pop my door open," and doesn't wear his respirator all the time if he when he's doing stuff, and uh, you know,
I think you're watching a video though. I think you would be pleasantly surprised to know that when he's not recording, I think he's off camera. He's doing the right things.
yeah, probably. I just when you're watching a video and you're not seeing everything, I'm like, it's like you're making me a little bit nervous here.
It, I feel the same nervousness for people because I'm directly taking part in it. I'm selling them the product that they should be, defending themselves against. And I've seen some people on lives using my product, and I've stopped selling them my product because they weren't. Yeah, I just blacklisted them.
Hmm.
I'm not. I don't want to take part in your life, man. The money to me ain't worth it. You're not killing yourself with my product.
Um, how did you get into selling like the glass microspheres? The micro balloons.
Illumilite stopped selling them, and I found an open market, and I jumped in there immediately. That's it. It's a simple business move. The most popular micro balloon creator stopped selling them, so why can't I be him? Just that. That's it. Just that thought.
Mm-hmm. Because I see a ton of people. So like, oh man, these SacPig micro balloons is like the best shit ever.
They're great. They really are. And I'm trying to break people's minds free of like the Illumilite mindset of I'm gonna get my bait just to float because like I'm minimally float. Like okay, with 1 gram of this and it barely rises to the surface, and I got my flotation. And I don't think that's the way to make baits. Who with wood works that way? They don't say, "Oh, my bait finally." Like you have to weigh down those wood baits because they float so much. They're over buoyant, and also famous for the best action. There's a reason why, though. It's because the upwards buoyant force, weighing that down, gives you a better action than just floating minimally. Like over flotation and weight give you a better action than minimally floating. And you couldn't do that with the Illumilite balloons. You can only go up to 15 to 18% before you could actually just break the bait in half with your hand. But with my balloons, we can go up to 60% now. And you can really over engineer on the flotation side and not see any downsides for structural integrity whatsoever. And trying to get people to switch their formula, I stopped. But I'm going to keep making videos about it because I really want people to catch on and realize that there's more that we can do. And if your bait works good now, it could probably work even better with more flotation and a better weight system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Oh, so I carved this like little topwater like walking banana, and I'm just slowly working on it. So it's getting it ready. I'm gonna send it to. You're familiar with John Outdoors?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna send it to John, and he's gonna mold it for me because I'm not a great mold maker. He's gonna mold it and trying to get it pushed out. It's so it's a topwater like walking banana. It's on my profile. It's kind of funny, bananas in the boat, kind of.
If you need help, call me. And you well, the reason why you're not good at silicone molds is how many have you made?
Like 3.
There you go. Maybe
That's,
around the 10 mark. But if you need help, call me. Call me on here and let's walk you through it so you can do your own stuff. I don't personally think that people should be relying. That's just my opinion too. Like you're going to get your own bait thing going on. What happens when you rip your mold and you need one right away? You're going to send off to somebody else and they're really easy to do. Like I found super easy ways to make it perfectly flat, to level it out, put spouts in. Like I have videos up of the old carvings and stuff. But yeah, if you need help doing that stuff, I would love to walk you through it. So you could actually do the stuff in house.
yeah, that'll be sweet. I don't know. You meet all these like cool bait makers, and they're like, "Oh, I'll help you with this. I'll help you with this." And um, Chris from Brothers Brim, he's like, "Dude, I would love to paint some bananas." Like, he's like, "That would be." I don't know. We have an idea kind of working for um a collab. So I just gotta. I'm so busy all the time. I just gotta like sit down and actually like work on stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty busy with Path of Exile too right now. Like that's been taking up so much of my time that I I can't stop playing the game right now. But I've been fishing a lot more lately. I've definitely been getting more out. But that first 2 months of Path of Exile, man, it had me.
Yeah, I'm like so like busy with my job and then like all the other stuff that I like to do. I haven't so like this computer that I'm on right now. This is a like a gaming setup, and I haven't played a video game on it in maybe 2 years. It's been crazy.
Oh. What games do you like playing?
Uh, so me and my fiance, we were playing Red Dead 2, and that's literally like the last game that we were playing.
It's a pretty fun game though. It's a
Hmm.
good. I like open world games a whole lot more. Now, if you were to say Call of Duty or something, I would have turned my eyes. But Red Dead, you get a thumb up. Thumb up.
Yeah, yeah, we're excited for the new GTA game, and then I uh I have like a bunch of so in Steam I just have like a whole list of different games because she kind of likes open world RPG stuff, and I'm kind of in the same boat.
Do you like ARPGs at all, like Diablo and like Last Epoch and stuff? Have you played those?
I haven't. My older brothers have played Diablo, and they've played like other games. Like I've played like Borderlands and Fallout.
Borderlands is amazing, like
Hmm.
very amazing.
What else? Played Fable. That one was fun.
Not
Yeah.
only is Borderlands amazing, it's one of the best multiplayer cooperative experiences out there. I don't think you can really beat Borderlands as far as like item distribution and just a cool overall co-op game. Like couch, you can't beat Borderlands. It's too good.
Hmm. What kind of setup do you have?
I I have a whole. I built a floating desk upstairs, and we have 6 computers, and we just game as a family.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but we play lots of different stuff. Like whatever's the flavor plus everything retro. So
Hmm. Yeah, I've been wanting us to get a Nintendo Switch. We just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet, and I don't know if we're gonna want the newer one or what the plan is. But no, I want one because for those Nintendo specific games like the Mario games, Zelda, Pokemon.
yeah, for sure. I'm still upset at Nintendo for what they're doing to Pal World. So I'm gonna reserve myself on anything Nintendo for a while.
So fishing, gaming. What else? Like, do you like to
That's
do in
it,
your
man.
life?
I don't like doing anything else. I don't even like going outside. I make the exception to go fishing. So I'm a dude. I'm a cave person. I'm in a room. My ideal thing would be in a room for like 21 hours a day playing with the lights off. Like that's what I like doing. I only come out to fish every once in a while when I get my UV vampire skin on. I don't like coming outside. I'm just a loner. I love the rain too. I know I'm not going to run into any other fishermen when it's raining. Like I don't have to talk to anyone. I can just be out and do my thing and go home and you know and get to enjoy. I understand it's a very odd look, but yeah, I'd rather be by myself most of the time.
There's nothing wrong with that. With my job and everything, I'm peopled out by the time I get home. It's like I don't want to see anybody besides like my fiance. Other than that, I'm like, I'm good. I'm good on people for
Yep,
today.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm peopled out exactly. Within the first 2 minutes, I'm usually peopled out, so I'm good. I'd rather fish. I don't like stopping what I'm doing either. So if I'm out fishing, I want to fish. I don't really want to stop and have a conversation. And when I'm talking to you, it shows like I show you with my body language and stuff that I don't want to stop fishing. But it doesn't have anything to do with you. But it just looks like I want to stop the conversation. But I just really want to keep fishing. Like it's just different. But it always comes off as like a it unsettles people if they're out talking to me. That's all.
Oh, I'm terrible about talking to people like when I'm out fishing because like I'm doing like very specific things and I'm chasing like you said, I'm chasing the bite that I like to go after. Versus other people around me are like the other day I was out trout fishing, and I'm chasing a bite that I like to go for with these trout, and this guy's like, "What are they biting on?" And I'm like, "Oh, like little soft plastics." And he pulls out like one of those old igloo coolers that like flip to either side, and it was just full of like power bait dough of every single color that you could ever want. And him and his wife were just cycling through the different colors. It was wild. But that's the bite that they like, I guess.
That's the bite that they like. If I see a tackle box out here, I just know that no one's out here fishing for trout. There's going to be some dead bass. That's all. Someone's killing some bass tonight. That's what a tackle box means in California. Especially a tackle box and a 12-pack of Coors Light. You know some fish are dying that day.
um, with the area that you're in California, did that area really see like the trout stockings?
So the Mother Lake got stocked with trout twice a year, but no trout made it to the fish. Like the cormorants, and I'm not joking either. The cormorants would follow the truck in the air, and as soon as that trout truck landed, there would be over 150 cormorants in the pond eating. You can't even cast a bait because you will hook a cormorant. It doesn't matter where you cast. There's 70 people lined up on the shore and 150 birds, and the trout are gone in like, I don't know, 5 hours. Like there's no trout left. So there isn't any trout plants anywhere here in Sacramento area. And if there are trout plants, they're not in lakes that have bass. They're just in lakes that kids can go fish at without any problems. Like they're just little kiddie ponds everywhere.
Mm-hmm. That's hilarious. The cormorants. That's one of those. That's it's one of them 25 to life birds. If you accidentally hurt one.
Accidentally? If I hurt a cormorant, it ain't gonna be on accident. That's for sure. I hate those things. If I see a cormorant and I want to go fish, if there's a cormorant there, those fish are gone. They're not coming back out. My entire spot, my idea is gone. It's ruined. Good thing they don't stick around, like the dang geese. They need to go back to Canada. They're here year round now. They just refuse to leave California.
That's Canada's most dangerous animal right there.
Oh, because they don't hit them with fishing poles and shit. But in California, they're whipped. They don't do anything. They politely move out of your way here. They know what's coming. Like, you don't have to do anything here. They just know their role. They're like, okay, yeah, we're here. We're here illegally, but just don't look at us. Just leave us alone. But I know when I see videos of geese attacking people all the time, I've never even slightly been looked at the wrong way. And I've rescued like goslings in front of their mom because they were like tied up in braid and stuff, and the mom still won't attack me. Like they just, I don't know, they don't really attack you here.
Dude, that's the opposite. My fiance and I were at a pond, and there's like picnic tables. It's just like small little like pond, and we were sitting there, and I was fishing, and then we were just hanging out, popped up the hammock and had our chairs out, and this like goose, and she had goslings, but this goose was like walking away from us. They were doing their own thing, and then like turns around and they start coming at us, and she's like starts hissing and shit, and it's like, we were here first, like we weren't even bothering you or nothing, like you're just asking for a fight.
Yeah, just quick whack to their neck with a fishing pole. You know, you don't have to hit them hard. You just kind of shoo them off, and it's never bother you again. I don't know. I don't have any problems with those things. They have goslings out here as of yesterday. They just hatched. Like, I just seen the goslings walking around, so they're ready.
What's like really interesting for us is we have like like there's quite a few like little ponds or lakes around me, but I feel like the like same pairs of geese are there spring after spring. Like it's the same. I feel like it's the same ones spring after spring, and that's just like their little area that they're in.
Yep, we have a goose here that comes, and there's a certain spot for it. We call him it's finesse goose. Like if you look down the hill, you don't see anything but its head pop up, and it's like a dugout rock area. But yeah, it lays its eggs there every year. It's been there for 3 or 4 years now.
Mhm.
I think they mate for life too. Like they're really dumb birds, but at least they got some integrity.
No. Oh man. Um what with your kind of going back into the bait making, what are some of your favorite paint jobs that you do? Because you have some kind of bold ones and then you have like your couple really cool natural ones that you do.
This is my favorite paint job. Just I like freezer burn. I like all the colors, and you paint. You get. I know it's a really dumb reason why I like it. I like the color in general. This is my favorite color, but I also like painting it because all the paints are the perfect consistency and spray perfectly. Like I don't have to. I know it's a little tiny thing, but I like just the paint spray easy. And some paints don't spray easy, and you have to alter them. I don't want to alter. If I have to alter the paint and add thinner, I just throw it in the garbage. I don't. I don't mess with that shit at all. I'm not taking my time to do that. I just won't buy that paint. So I really like the ease of painting. Again, it's just when you paint 150 of them, you can appreciate the little things of it. But yeah, favorite color, and I mean, of course, people like Natty B. I think it's probably the most popular color that I
Mhm.
paint, but I ain't into natural colors. I don't fish natural colors. I don't think they work. I've tried them relentlessly. I even fished a rat and then turned around and looked at the rat on the tree right next to me, and it was the carbon copy of the rat that they wouldn't bite. Like, and then you throw on a freaking all chrome mirror rat, and they tear the shit up out of that thing. So I just I know for small baits under the water, let's just go anything under the water. Color matters a whole lot more. That's it. I don't think color matters that much on top, and I do think that stripe matters, but I don't think it makes them hungry and want to bite it. I just think it gives them something to target. That's
Mhm.
all.
Yeah, just kind of to focus on and like attack.
Yep. I don't think color drives them crazy at all. They, if they can't see me at night sitting at the bank because they'll bite right in front of your feet, I don't think they can see the rat either.
Mhm.
I just don't think so.
I think one of the cooler paints that you do is the spy versus spy one.
That I can't. I'm throwing the spy versus spy right now. Constantly. I like that color too. Hold on. I do have a two piece that I made in the
Mhm.
opposite spy versus spy colors too. It looks very mesmerizing when it's in the water moving. It definitely looks cool. I like it.
Mhm.
And it's caught me my biggest fish on the two piece. It was a while ago, but yeah, that spy versus spy definitely caught like an 8-13 on my two piece.
Mhm.
Not a bad fish.
And that's like a play on the like Mad TV comics, like Spy versus Spy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't kind of I don't know if that's like a super niche thing that people are aware of, like the Mad TV. Maybe some
I'm I'm 40,
maybe it's
and
like
it was relevant for me at the time.
yeah,
It it was relevant, but not even relevant for me. Like it's relevant for my mom because Mad Magazine, not the actual TV show. When that they stopped, I don't know. I've never even seen a Mad Magazine.
dude, I haven't seen a Mad magazine in like several years, but sometimes my brother would like randomly like buy them, and I don't know, they are funny. It's like funny little parodies of Star Wars and whatever.
Yeah, I've never seen it. They were okay. The Mad TV was okay for like the first season, and then it really dropped off on like Fox or whatever. And then SNL has just been trash forever. Like I don't even remember the last time SNL was good. Will Ferrell, you had to be Will Ferrell. Like, yeah.
Oh man. With any of the baits that you've made, have any of them, like, what's given you the most trouble with making it?
The One Piece, 1,000%. Like, I, I mentioned earlier that it took me 7 months to make, and that entire 7 month process was just the lip. Like, the lip was the problem the whole time, but I was in a state of mind to where I could buy my lips from Barlow's or some other place and then use those, because that would be the cheapest way of doing it. But none of those lips worked. None of them. And that took me quite a long time to sort, because I would use a lip and then change the formula and then change the hook spacing and then like, I thought it was my formula the whole time and not the lip. And the day I got so frustrated, this was like 7 months in, I was like, I'm not making this anymore. I'm done. I've been banging my head against the wall for the better part of a year, and I'm not making anything. So I'm just going to do one Hail Mary. I'm going to cut out some lips that are bigger than anything anyone has fucking seen for their baits. Because there's got to be something. And my lips are really big. Like, when you get to see them in person, they're fucking giant. But it needed it. It wouldn't work otherwise. So, yeah, and it's definitely One Piece. Every other bait, the travels took 0 prep time, because they're just carbon copies, and I can just transfer the recipe over and, dumb it down. I got to see the structural integrity tests, yes, but to make them work, that was easy. The 2-piece, easy. This is why I like it so much, is because I just put so much time and effort into it, and it just, I know it catches fish. I'll throw that bait anywhere. It's definitely my favorite.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything that you're working on that you haven't shown anybody that you'd be willing to touch on or kind of tease?
Does it have to be a bait?
Doesn't have to be a bait. It could be anything you want.
So, let me grab a sticker real quick. So, the microballoons sticker is the Italian drug rat peddling his microballoons on a street corner, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the packaging for the ABS rat it's going to unfold and continue this picture on the front. So you could put the sticker next to it, and it's going to create a picture. And when you turn over that, it's going to show you what's going on inside. Like, I'm not going to spoil everything yet, but yeah, we're going to make cohesive lore and art specifically for this rat universe that's going on. And then the next bait we make will continue off of that picture, so you can put your boxes together and make a cohesive picture.
Dude, that's fucking sweet.
I'll show you the picture afterwards, okay? It's pretty fucking. I'll say one thing, like, to get the point of the booty shaker across, there is a drug table, and you can see rats with shakers in them, but he's cutting off the tail of another rat with a knife, and you can see him plugging like the shaker into the little rat body that he's, yeah.
Dude, that's like I feel like, yeah, that's like half the fun with like buying baits or anything like that, is getting the packaging, because it's like, it's cool when you get a sticker. Like, if you get a throwback like the pink lemonade, You know, there's like a specific pink lemonade sticker that comes with it, and I don't know, like all the stuff's like really cool. That's why like a lot of people keep their swim bait boxes and bait boxes because it's part of the whole experience of buying a bait from a maker.
Yeah, for sure. Like we also integrated the um the computer stuff into the picture too. So instead of there just being a barcode, the barcode is actually embedded into the drawing. So it's showing on a television instead of just being a barcode. Like the actual graphics are worked into the background of the picture to make more cohesive sense. It was a I'm trying to look what's lighting up in the background. I can see it on my camera. You see it flickering?
Not
There's no
not
light.
Yeah, not
It's
on my
right here.
end. No,
You
I don't
don't
see
see
it at
this
all. No.
lighting up? Okay. Okay. Oh, it's not a light. It's like the audio thing. Okay. I see what it
Oh,
is.
I got you. I got you. All right. Well, we'll probably just leave it off with that because I mean, that's I feel like we covered a lot of good stuff, even like went off topic with some gaming, whatever, but that was all great.
Hey, we're here. Let's do it, man. Like, I'll send you the link for Path of Exile. Maybe you and your wife can check it out, and we can get going. But it ain't an easy game, that's for sure. But it's definitely worth the time invested. But you need a lot of time invested too. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll have to be something that I have to like schedule out. I'll have to like it's like put it in my schedule. This is where it fits.
anyways, yeah, it's been great talking to you. Yeah, I'm glad we finally got to make this happen, and we did make it happen immediately too, which feels really good.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, all the overall fun conversation, man. Thank you for having me on.
For sure. Where can everybody find you at if they aren't already following you anywhere?
SacPig.com or SacPig on Instagram. I have a TikTok and Facebook, but I don't really keep up with them in the same way as I do my Instagram. Instagram has all of my core following, and I find that TikTok is fun, but it's not useful for business for me at least. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong. But yeah, anything SacPig or microballoons.com, but you can order the microballoons off of SacPig.com also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's like if you're like in the SacPick website, you can see where in your drop down menu it's like micro balloons. It's really easy.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, well, perfect. I really appreciate it, Michael.
Thank you. Thank you again.